Christopher, you're a disgrace to this family. Leave. You're not wanted here. Those harsh words came from my dad at my brother Alex's wedding, in front of a room full of people, and Alex didn't stand up for me. I was about to leave, boiling with anger, when... Please help us! We need you! A wedding staff member came asking for help in a moment of crisis. This turned out to be the moment when my dad finally realized who I really was and got quite a surprise. My name is Christopher, and I'm one of two brothers. Our dad, a lawyer, was always tough on Alex and me. Growing up, we had no free time. Between lessons and studying, even playing with friends wasn't allowed. I worked hard to live up to Dad's expectations and to catch up to my brother Alex, who I deeply admired. But no matter how hard I tried, I always felt inferior to Alex and disappointed my dad. The first significant event in my life was taking the entrance exam for a prestigious private school. Knowing it was a long shot, I still tried to get into the school Dad wanted. The result was inevitable. I failed. After that, Dad pretty much ignored me, only speaking to Alex and my mom. So I ended up going to a local public high school. For those 3 years, I constantly felt stressed. Dad continued to ignore me, and so did Alex, which was heartbreaking. You okay? My only solace was my mom. She continued to treat me the same way as always. Yeah, I'm fine. I'll find my own path. And so, right after high school, I left home, without saying a word to Dad or Alex. I only left a note for my mom. I was desperate to leave, so I found a job where I could also live in. Luckily, I found a job opening at a hotel. I applied right away and got the job. Ever since I started working, I've been living a fulfilling life. It's not stifling like it was at home. I get to focus on what I need to do. Christopher, another mistake? How many times do I have to tell you? I'm sorry, I'll fix it right away. Get it together, Christopher! Michael, the hotel manager, is really tough. I was just a high school graduate, so it's not like I knew anything about the real world. I was always getting scolded. Still, I worked hard every day. But it was a different kind of tough from Dad. Michael actually praised me when I did well, which motivated me to do better. Something memorable happened at the start of the new year. New Year's is the busiest time for the hotel. After completing all the required training, I was finally able to work on my own. That year, it seemed the hotel was more crowded than usual, and the busiest time? Dinner. Guests either gather in a big room to eat, or meals have to be delivered to their rooms, so it's insanely hectic. I was finally able to work by myself, but I was still a rookie, and I knew I was causing the hotel some trouble. Still, I gave it my all. Then, a minor event happened. On New Year's Day, a coworker got the flu, leaving us short-staffed. I worked my tail off. I probably put in twice the hours mandated by state labor laws. Just when you'd think it couldn't get worse, it did. The kitchen sink's pipe broke, right during dinner time. And of course, it's New Year's Day, so no plumber is coming. What a mess! We're stuck! The mood of our manager, Michael, kept getting worse. I took a bold step and said, Michael, can I try fixing the plumbing? I'll sort it out. Michael and the others looked puzzled, but he had no choice. With a hopeful tone, he asked, Christopher, can you do it? Then I got to work on the plumbing. Actually, I had gone to a science-focused high school after failing to get into a private one. There, I gained specialized knowledge in engineering and hands-on experience. Half an hour later, I had somehow managed to fix the pipe. Michael, it's fixed! Michael rushed over and turned the faucet. Water flowed out with force. Everyone in the room smiled. Great job, Christopher! You're my pride and joy! Being raised by Michael felt amazing. We managed to get through the New Year's Day at our hotel. I'll never forget the fulfillment I felt that day. It's fair to say it has shaped who I am today. 15 years have passed since, and I fully adapted to this job. One day, I got a letter from Ma'am after a long time. Turns out, Alex is getting married. I keep in touch with Mom a few times a year, but haven't been in contact with Dad or Alex. The letter asked for me to attend Alex's wedding. Why should I go? That was the feeling bubbling up inside me. So I wrote back to Mom. I can't attend. Yet, a letter from Mom came right back, begging me to somehow make it. I reluctantly agreed to go. The location was a top-notch luxury hotel. Alex's bride is a young woman from a prestigious company, and the guest list outnumbers those at my work's New Year's celebration. It's quite lavish. I thought it was Alex and Dad's style. The meeting with Alex's bride was probably arranged at a party by Dad, or was some kind of political marriage. On the day, I wore a suit I've had for a few years and headed to the venue. I gave my name at the reception and was guided to the waiting room. There were already quite a few people. All looked like high society folks. Must be Alex's bride. The woman with long, beautiful hair in the back. With no one to talk to, I was people watching when I locked eyes with two men. I recognized their faces. His face was clearly unhappy. Two men, Dad and Alex, walked up to me. "Why are you here?" I heard Dad's deep voice. It's been years since I've heard his voice. Is it so wrong to celebrate Alex's wedding? Oh, by the way, congrats, Alex. I said that, and Alex made a conflicted face. He probably can't openly appreciate my congratulations in front of Dad. What have you been up to all these years? No doubt some worthless job. Christopher, you shouldn't be here. As Dad said this, Mom rushed over to us. Come on, Christopher is here to celebrate. No need to be so harsh. Mom was desperate to persuade Dad, but her voice was drowned out by Dad's. Enough, Mom! Christopher, let me make this clear. You're a disgrace. I don't want you ruining Alex's celebration. Get out! Even I felt the surge of anger. I didn't want to come to Alex's wedding in the first place, and yet I get treated like this. That's why I didn't want to come. Fine, I'm leaving, okay? Mom, this is why I didn't want to be here. To see this terrible dad. And turned my back to exit the waiting room. I picked up my belongings and was about to step outside. Please wait! I heard someone call out and turned around. A wedding staff member from the hotel was rushing over. What's up? It seems we have an unexpected guest for today's wedding. We're short on seats and food. Everyone in the waiting room looks worried. Emily, the planner, and the parents-in-law staff. I see. Is that what's going on? Emily can't handle it alone, and they're asking for my help. But what does this have to do with me? Reflect on your past actions. Serve them right. All my grievances against Dad and Alex are bubbling up. But then, memories from the past fill my mind, of times when Alex and I used to play. Alex always made time to play with me during study breaks. Right if I just walked away, I'll be no different from Dad. I turned back to the wedding staff. Can you take me to Emily? The staff member's face relaxed. I quickly followed them back into the waiting room. I returned to the very place I was kicked out of. In the center of the room, Emily, my dad, and the bride's father all wore worried expressions. As I got closer, my eyes met Dad's. Why has Christopher returned? Leave! Dad approached me with a furious look, but Emily got to me first. General Manager, please help us! Dad's eyes widened in shock. You see, I'm now the general manager for all the hotels that my current company manages. When I first joined, we had just started expanding. Now, we have hotels and wedding venues all over the country. And this hotel we're in right now, it's one of the hotels I oversee. I think I can handle this. I calmly explained the situation. Dad, I'm busy right now. We'll talk later. Saying this, I turned back to Emily. Relax, Emily. Get the seats and everything else ready. I'll take care of the food. The stress fades from Emily's face. Understood. I'll leave the food to the general manager and handle the rest. With that, Emily rushes off. All right, it's my turn now. Everyone in the waiting room is watching me. I leave the room and head to my friend, Chef Jackson. This hotel has a high-end restaurant, and Jackson, the chef, is a good friend of mine. Hey, you in? After some rustling, Jackson appears. Christopher, what brings you here? Work? I'm here as a guest today. My brother's wedding is happening here, but we're one meal short. Can you help? Sure thing. I'll whip something up with my culinary skills. Much appreciated. I owe you dinner. Looking forward to it. I return to the waiting room after taking care of a few things. The guests have already moved to the ceremony area. Only my parents and the bride's parents are left. The issue is resolved. We've got an extra meal coming. Upon hearing this, my mom and the bride's parents looked relieved. My dad looked conflicted. Quite the proud man he is. Christopher, thank you so much. Because of you, the celebration can go on successfully. It's all in a day's work as a general manager. And with that, we all enter the ceremony hall. The lights dim and the groom and bride enter. Alex looks incredibly handsome, and his bride is stunning. The ceremony proceeds, and then it's mealtime. I confirm that everyone is served and breathe a sigh of relief. The ceremony concludes successfully. The faces of the groom and bride are filled with happiness. After the ceremony, we had a little talk with Alex's family and the bride's family. The topic was gratitude towards me, especially from the bride's family. I was thanked profusely. These moments are why I love my job. Christopher, thank you so much. We had the best day ever, all thanks to you. No worries. Wishing you all the happiness in the world. Thank you so much. I look at Dad and Alex. Both of them have complicated expressions. Mom walks over to me. Christopher, you did wonderfully. Thank you. Dad and Alex want to speak to you. I look back at Dad and Alex. Alex apologizes first. Christopher, you saved us. Thank you. And sorry for everything up to now. As long as I could help Alex, it's all good. Then Dad lowers his head without saying a word. He seemed to have nothing to say. That's fine with me. After all, I never became like Dad. Just then, my cell phone buzzed in my pocket. It was the manager from a hotel in the next town over. Looked like more work. But hey, I enjoy it, so no complaints. Alright, I'm off. Got work to do. You two take care. I probably won't see Alex or Dad again. I left the room without looking back and headed to work. 3 days after Alex's wedding, I was enjoying a rare day off. Sitting on the sofa, sipping warm coffee, that was my happy time. Suddenly, the doorbell rang. Who could it be? I wondered as I went to the door. Alex was there. Surprised, I opened the door. Alex? What brings you here? Sorry, I got your address from Mom. Wanted to talk to you, Christopher. He wants to talk to me? Maybe he came to say thanks again. Well, you want to come in? Pardon the mess. If it's okay with you, Christopher, I'd like that. Alex gave a forced smile. I invited Alex in and served him coffee. Thank you. Smells good. Alex took a slow sip of his coffee. Seems like we both enjoy coffee. So, what did you want to talk about, Alex? Alex put down his coffee cup and looked me straight in the eye. The next moment, he apologized. I'm really sorry for everything. I was puzzled. He came all this way to say that? A phone call would have sufficed. Hey, it's alright, Alex. Alex looked up. Actually, I came today because I want to share some things with you, Christopher. If you don't mind, I'd like you to hear my grievances. Grievances? I was left speechless. Alex began to speak slowly. You might think I'm the older brother who can do anything, but I envy you, Christopher. You're free from Dad's pressures, living your own life, away from our parents. I couldn't say a word. Alex felt that way? I had no idea you felt that way, Alex. Silence filled the room for a moment. I felt somewhat guilty. After all, I had unintentionally shifted all of Dad's expectations onto Alex. Choosing my words carefully, I spoke. Alex, I'm sorry. I never considered that you were struggling too. My brother smiled weakly. That's just it. It's not your fault, Christopher. I was the weak one. Hearing that, I finally found my words. Alex, I think you've been through struggles I can't even imagine. I truly admire that, but I also want you to know about me. Taking a deep breath, I paused. I needed to collect my thoughts. Alex listened intently to my words, not saying anything. Breaking away from my parents and becoming independent wasn't easy either. The beginning was really tough. Yeah, it's true. We both have our share of hardships. Alex responded. It seemed Alex had more to say. I don't consider myself wise enough to convince Alex, nor do I know the words to do so. So I said what I honestly felt to my esteemed Alex. To be honest, I think you should do what you really want to do, Alex, without worrying about Dad. After pondering my words, Alex stood up, a relieved look on his face. You're right, Christopher. You've helped clear up my inner turmoil. Thank you. No, thank you, Alex, for coming over. I escorted Alex to the door. I'll come by for coffee again, he said, and left. A natural smile appeared on his face. A month later, a letter arrived from Alex. He had been a lawyer to meet Dad's expectations, but decided to quit and start training as a glass craftsman. Turns out he met his girlfriend at a glass workshop he had been attending as a hobby. I'm sorry, Alex, for ever doubting you. As expected of Alex, seems he's been disowned by Dad, but Alex's wife is supportive, and he's full of motivation. Dad remains the same, but I know Alex will pull through. Since then, our families started interacting more. There really is something special about the bond between siblings. As I was lost in thought, my mobile phone's alarm went off. Whoa, it's already this time? I have to leave the house. Today, another day awaits on the path I chose, in the job I chose.